Hello, YouTube Sphere. It's so good to be here. Listen, I am Tori, the real estate educator, and I'm here to educate you. So let's get it started. Let me get my other ones going here. I always got to start off with a smile. Yes, let's keep it going. Let's get it going, right? I'm feeling real fight the power ish today because my hair is doing whatever it want to do. I didn't try to flat iron it. I didn't try to do everything, but I'm Tori, the real estate educator, here to educate you on today. Hey, Jen, I ain't seen you in a while, girl. So, well, heard from you in a while. But yeah, I am here to talk real estate, and we're talking about the waiting, how much waiting could cost you. Because a lot of people ask me about buying real estate, when they should buy, should they wait till the rates drop? The best time to buy real estate is right now. Hey, friend. So, it's always a great time to buy real estate, especially right now where there's a whole lot of redevelopments going on, especially if you live in the Midwest region, where, a lot of these, factory towns, steel towns are doing absolutely, by now, tell them, Jen, these towns are doing a lot of renovations. Dan Gilbert is doing a whole lot. I know he owes the city this anyway because all the mortgages he did back in the day, but that's something different. But that's a different conversation. But he's doing wonderful things here. He's doing wonderful things in Cleveland. Milwaukee's doing their thing. Chicago is always doing their thing. Ohio, they're doing their thing. Different cities, Cleveland, Columbus, especially in and around college towns. College towns are really getting a lot of, real estate, thoughts and things and developments around there because these campuses are getting bigger. When I went, I have a listing in East Lansing right now. Shout out to Michigan State, go green. And it's right across the street from Michigan State's campus. So, when I went up there, I'm like, Michigan State owns East Lansing. So, I mean, it's a lot of redevelopments that's going on up there. So it's crazy. When I graduated in 2003, even when I went up there 2 years ago for homecoming, it's definitely totally different. So it's definitely time to buy now. So that's what we're talking about today. What is waiting going to cost you? Because a lot of people think that the rates are going to go down, they're going to wait for that, but prices are still going up, especially when you have a lot of population growth, a lot of things going on, a lot of redevelopment. Prices are going to go up. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. I was talking to my broker today. We was talking about the same thing, just encouraging people to buy. So most people think that buying is expensive, right? But you just have to have a plan and know your numbers because you got to pay for somewhere to live regardless. You know what I mean? So, well, what if I told you, you know, told you that doing absolutely nothing is costing you more than, buying one because appreciation is happening. So today I'm going to go over and show you another year could cost you tens of thousands of dollars and it can dwindle your wealth. I know they're saying like, you know, um, black wealth is going to be at, um, you know, 0%. I don't, it's a lot of people doing great things. So I don't think that it's going to be that low. But if you don't catch on to this train, like between now and 2030, our whole economic system is about to change. And you have to be prepared. You have to be owning something, owning land rights, owning water rights, owning mineral rights, all these things. You got to follow the money. Bill Gates, and Brunson, I forgot his first name, but he's the owner of, you know, um, all the Virgin brands, and he owns a lot of different things. So you got to follow the money. They're buying water rights, they're buying mineral rights, they're doing all of the things. So owning your land, all of the things is something crucial right now. And I know a lot of people be like, well, you don't own the land because you can still got to pay taxes. You can write in your land rights if you know what you're doing. So make sure that you're understanding that. So the cost nobody talks about. Let's talk about that. So what happens if prices rise 5 to 10% next year? I can speak for Detroit. Our real estate has increased 20 to 25% year on year average. You have certain neighborhoods who have gone like, 'cause the national average of appreciation is 1 through 5%, right? That's year on year. Every year you're going to see your prices increase, and your appreciation of your home, your value increase year on year between 1 to 5%. But in Detroit, we seeing 7, 12, 16, 20. Even in the surrounding areas, in the suburban areas are seeing values grow up too, because whenever a downtown starts to, get, revitalized, it spreads outward because more and more people are going to want to, enjoy the amenities. So that's what I mean. So, for example, if a home today is 250,000 and it appreciates 5% next year, that means that house is going to be worth 562,500, which is more than now. It's going to be costing you later. If it appreciates 10%, then you talk about 275. Now, if it's in a growth area where you're talking about is getting over 15% growth, you're talking about it jumping like 285, 290 from 250. So you have to make sure that you understand you're following the market, you're following the money. So with that, that's between 12,500 to 25,000 more for the exact same house. Nothing else done. Nothing else. Same exact house. The house did not change. The neighborhood around Detroit is going to change, but the neighborhood, things didn't change, but the opportunity changed because there's a lot of opportunity out here. So would finding an extra $25,000 be easy for you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Would that be easy for you? So, like I said, I can speak for Detroit because I'm a realtor here and I study the market here. Detroit is not waiting. And I had somebody arguing back at 2 women on my TikTok, arguing back and forth with me about the neighborhood that I posted on my page. Listen, what you thought was the hood is about to turn into something totally different. And I don't want to have that conversation of, oh, it's so gentrified. Oh, it's blah, blah, blah. When I have been telling you, I actually made a video. It was last year or the year before last, saying this exact same thing, talking about the Joe Louis Greenway. Everything along the Joe Louis Greenway, which is 28 zip codes, are going to go up. It's going to increase significantly. 28 zip codes. Now, you're not talking about the outliers like the Brightmoors, the Number Streets. Hey, Charles, we're not talking about the Cooley High neighborhood, which they got it fenced off now. If you haven't rolled by off of Finkel, I know people don't go off of Finkel or whatever. They got Cooley fenced off, about to start doing demolition in there because they're about to change it into a community space. I just helped one of my clients buy a house over there. So she bought a house for $110,000. She already has houses around there going for $185,000. When they get finished with that, and all the improvements that she's already done, because she hasn't even reported her improvements that she's done. Her house right now, she bought it for $110,000. It's probably worth $150,000 with all the improvements that she made to her house, because she got it for a steal. So I'm trying to get people to understand. You can talk about the hood and you can say all these things, but what I'm telling you is this: what you thought was the hood is about to turn around into something else, because I went over there because I've been looking at houses all across. I'm a West Sider, so I stick with mostly West Side. But I went over there off of Schaefer and the Lodge, off of 7 Mile. A other came out the house looking at me. I was looking at her. She scared me. I scared her. I said, oh, I ain't never seen it before. So they trickling. I saw another running down Dexter not too long ago. Listen, y'all can talk about it all you want to, but let me just say this: Detroit's population growth had 5,000 people move to the city of Detroit last year. So that means the housing demand about to go up, all of that. And on top of that, I'm gonna do a video on it. It's a brand new tech company that's coming from Maryland who's going to bring their headquarters to Detroit. What up, Del Charles? So you're talking about, and they're AI cybersecurity company, and they're going to bring their headquarters to Detroit. That means they're bringing jobs here. That means they're bringing more people here because they're going to bring the top execs, of course. And then you're talking about more housing demand. You know what I mean? So when they're having their headquarters is going to have like AI training facilities. They're going to be training people, all of the things. So you got job growth, you got population growth, you have new restaurants open up around Detroit it seemed like every single weekend. It seemed like something brand new is popping up, especially like rooftops and bar and grills and speakeasies. A lot of people are liking that. So there's a lot of things that's going on. Downtown is about to get more developments. You got the JW that's going to be done. The Cosmodome that's bringing jobs. That's bringing more demand. So you talking about Jefferson Charmers, because a lot of people can't live downtown. So people are going to be starting to go to Jefferson Charmers, which is along the Joe Louis Greenway too. Indian Village, East Indian Village, Rivertown, all of that up off of Jefferson. People, even though people want to talk about it, somebody was telling me today, oh, that's the hood. Okay, I'm trying to tell you what's about to happen. So all of that, anything along the Joe Louis Greenway, I posted on my story not too long ago. A house, I saw it on TikTok, a house in Highland Park they did is beautiful. Highland Park coming up, and you can still get some houses for cheap in Highland Park and some cheap lots that you can build on. So listen, I know I said Highland Park, but if you have not rolled down Woodward and saw that Joe Louis Greenway big bridge that's going across Woodward, okay. You think that it's not about to happen, it's about to happen. So, you have like all the revitalization projects that I had already just mentioned. So if you looking to invest, you better do it now because you can still get some good houses. The only drawback about Detroit houses is because they are so old, you have to, do a lot of renovations, but the upside is still there. So you have, not only do you have revitalization projects that's bringing new, attractions, you're also having neighborhood redevelopment. If you, like I said, if you have not rolled up and down Dexter, Linwood area in a while, it's happening. Um, yep, yep. Grand River got the high rises coming up over there. That's Rosedale Park is still popping. Sherwood Forest. Somebody just told me, oh, University District, that's where you want to go. Okay, listen, I'm just letting you know. So when you're talking about buying real estate, it doesn't matter if you're talking about buying it from a retail standpoint or investor standpoint. You always buy like an investor, even if it's going to be your personal home. You have to know your numbers because investors don't buy where prices are already exploding. They're buying where they see the momentum is going. You have to buy where the puck is going, not where it already is. John Hope Bryant said that. So you need to make sure that you're understanding what's going on right around your city, wherever you are, right around your city. I know Indianapolis because I've been watching HGTV for a while, and they have been renovating a lot of Indianapolis and the surrounding area homes for a while. So Indianapolis getting a boost, Columbus, Cleveland, Toledo, Dayton, Detroit, like I said, Milwaukee, Chicago always doing things. If you're living in the Midwest, think, Pennsylvania, they doing some things. Listen, it's happening. I know Pittsburgh is. So you want to know that you want to think like an investor. So they buy where the momentum is happening. So you want to understand where these things are. So you're talking about Greenfield, Grand River area, the Fitzgerald area, Bagley, the University District. I just had an investor call me today, said he'd like to buy in the Bagley area, Grandmont, Rosedale, areas in the Joe Louis Greenway. Those are the hot areas right now. So let's not get caught up in a rent trap, right? So a lot of times people will like, it's easier to rent because, you don't have the expenses of a house, but you still have expenses as a renter. They make you pay. Your rent is not just all you pay. You have to pay your utilities, your water, pest control, whatever fees they tack on there, you still have extra fees that you have to budget. So don't get trapped in that because, like I said, I have gotten trapped in it. I had to look up one day and say, dang, I spent 24, this on rent alone. Not adding in parking and all the other stuff they charge you for. Just rent alone, I spent $24,000 in 1 year. $24,000 is a good down payment on something. You know what I mean? So, say for instance, because the average rent right now in Detroit is like $1,500. The annual rent cost is $18,000. In 5 years, that's $90,000 that you've spent. What have you gotten from that $90,000? So I can tell you, if you spent that same amount on a home, you can use that equity to go and purchase another home, finance a business, do a lot of different things. But you can't do that when you're renting. So how much of that will come back to you as a renter? Zero. It's all going to the landlord. So when you have a mortgage, I know people are scared of the mortgage. The mortgage payments help you build equity, appreciation, its ownership, and future borrowing power. You can use your home as leverage, especially if you are a business owner. If you are a business owner and they see that you own your own home and you're maintaining that home, that is leverage that you can use. If you are trying to get into real estate and you're a real estate investor and you own a home already, the bank will fund you because they'll see that you already are responsible for a home, and they will you can use that as collateral, use the equity, however that looks like for you, in order for you to be able to get whatever it is that you need to do. So it's more than just paying a mortgage. And if you watch my breakdown videos, I show you exactly how to do it. You can do this on your own. You can go take an average house and you can get the mortgage price from, absolutely, it's Monopoly. Absolutely, it's Monopoly in real life. Shout out to the Monopoly brothers in Detroit. Them brothers doing some great things. So it's definitely when you how many houses did you have to buy to get a hotel? So that's the same thing. You could do the same thing in real life. You can buy 4 single family homes, leverage those. Hey, nicer. Leverage those. And then guess what? Buy an apartment building because you already got 4 houses. It's the same thing. The bank will let you borrow off of that. So you have to have leverage though. But if you got money and credit, you can do whatever you want to do. But if you want to use other people's money, you use what you have. You use what you got to get what you want. So my next point is this. So most people are closer than they think. A lot of people think they're just like so far away from, buying a home. There's so much money out here still to purchase a home. They have down payment assistance, all of the things, right? I've talked about, I think Detroit still got their grant going on. If you have not filled out the Move Detroit application, I don't know if they closed it yet, but it's been open since March. They're offering up to $15,000, at least $1,000. And you have to make sure that you are using all these programs. It's another lender that I know, they have a launch program where they have given $20,000. And thank you for the stars, nice. And they had $20,000 or up to 20% to purchase a home. So each lender has certain programs, and if you have the at least a 620 credit score, you in there like swimwear. And some of them, because there's not a FHA loan doesn't have a credit score minimum anymore. You can buy a house with a 500. I'm not telling you to, because I am so big on getting your credit fixed, and repair and doing right by your credit. But if you want to buy a home, you have money, there isn't a limit anymore. There isn't a credit score that's blocking you from doing that. Now, you can't get down payment assistance unless you have a 620. And that middle score has to be a 620. Let's be clear. Because you have 3 credit scores. I forgot that was about to go off. But you still have money out there. So you have MISTA that still has money. That's the state of Michigan, where you can borrow over the state of Michigan. Like I said, in Detroit still has theirs. Each municipality around the city and the surrounding areas has their own local grants and things of that nature. So if you want to move to Southfield, they probably, I know at one point Southfield was offering like 14,000. If you wanted to move to, different, I think Livonia was offering like 15,500. Like, it all depends. Nothing against Livonia. Livonia is just boring to me. I wouldn't live there, but that's just on you. If you want to get out there, that's just my preference. But I got to be around stuff. So if I want to move to the suburbs, it would be a Southfield or Royal Oak or something like that. So the biggest mistake I see isn't bad credit. Is people assuming they don't qualify because they have bad credit. You can still qualify. Now there isn't a credit score minimum anymore. So you're holding yourself back for what? Especially if you have the money already. If you have money saved up, you can still purchase a home. Now they're gonna probably make you pay like 10% down or something like that. But you can also refinance later into a conventional loan to get your interest rate, because your interest rate is gonna be high, but your interest rate lower within 1 to 2 years, and you'll come out on top. So it's things that you can do. I'm not preaching bad credit at all, but you don't have to continue to be predatory. If you get your credit fixed and you have money, that's even better. But it's all about knowing what you have and what you can do and getting an education, right? So when I say think like an investor, this means that you are looking at the value. This is where value happens. So investors think like this. They ask, what is the neighborhood doing? What are jobs doing? What are prices doing? What are rents doing? What developments are coming, right? And even as a residential buyer, you should think of that too, because you want your property value to rise. Even though your taxes are going to go up, you should buffer for that. But you want your value to rise so that you can use it for leverage. Hypothetically, a good down payment, it all depends, right? So if the average FHA loan is 3.5%, if you have that 620 credit score. But like I said, if you buy a $200,000 house and maybe you have a 580 and they tell you have to have 10% down, then you have to get them 20,000. But that is going towards the house price or whatever. But increasing your credit can help with that. So my whole thing is fix your credit. Use the money that's given to you, that's for free, instead of and take the money that you already saved and put it on if you want to put it on the back end of your mortgage, and then you cut your mortgage, years, because it's based off months. It's a 30-year mortgage, but if you put that same 20,000 on the back end of your mortgage, you cutting your mortgage in half. So you might have 15 years, and then if you're paying an extra principal payment, you cutting it. You'll pay your mortgage off in 7 years. So, it just all depends on what your credit score is, and how you could come into money as fast as you can. A lot of people get a lot of money from taxes and use it the same way every single year. They just buy things and these lemon cars that they're gonna have to buy again. So if we just use it wisely, fixing credit, saving and putting it in high yield savings account and putting it in investment accounts, or whatever that is, so that it grow, you'll have that same money. But it is what it is. But that's a good question. So what investors don't ask is this my forever home? I know people think of that because that terminology is out there. My forever home, my forever home. Start somewhere. Everybody want to go from the apartment to the 5-bedroom, 5-6 bathroom, 10 room, 20 room mansion. No, start somewhere and then let that house get you to the mansion. Monopoly people, 4 houses, get you the hotel. It might take you 2 houses. It might take you 1 house to get to the hotel. But you have to start where you are. And if you don't want to start where you are and you still chasing something that's in a fantasy, you'll never get there. You have to learn how to own something simple before you own something large. That's just my philosophy. I owned a home in Memphis for 10 years. It was 2,700 square feet, and I got it for 150,000, and I squandered it. I didn't know what to do. Like, if that house worth over 300,000 now, I didn't know. So you have to understand how real estate works, right? So your first home doesn't have to be your dream home. You have to start somewhere. It's your first it's your first wealth building asset. And I know people gonna say it's not an asset, you gotta pay on it. It is an asset when you look at it to the point, if you're leveraging it correctly and you buy correctly, you have equity that you can use. So let's talk about the cost of waiting until 2027. So like I said, a home that's or 250,000 and you got an annual appreciation of 7% on the low end, you're talking about the value is going to be 267,500 by the time you thinking about buying next year. If you think about buying in 2028, it's going to be 286,000. That's a $36,000 increase. So what would you rather do? Buy the house today or pay the extra 36,000 later? That is the question, people. Because it doesn't matter where you are, housing prices are going to continue to rise because it's just a mechanism of how real estate works. And I know people are like, oh, it's going to be a crash. Not going to be a crash like 2008. Unfortunately, these lenders are fine-toothing, combing every single part of your finances. They are not giving loans to any and everybody. So you need to make sure you have your finances in order. Make sure your bank accounts are in order. Make sure you're not doing a whole lot of cash, moving money all around all over the place when you 3 months out. Making sure your taxes are good, unless you are if you're a business owner. Make sure you have your P&Ls, profit and loss. Make sure you have your taxes straight. They're gonna ask for 2 to 3 years, maybe even 5, depending on your business. Make sure you're not commingling. Make sure you're not doing a whole lot of things. Make sure you're not putting your name on somebody else's, car and doing all this, getting credit for other people while you're trying to get to this process, because that's going to slow you up too. So just understand, buying later is going to cost you more. You can wait. Don't take this advice, whatever. Just watch and see what's going to happen. It doesn't matter if you're in Detroit, you in Cleveland, you in Milwaukee, you in Chicago, you in New York, you in LA, you in Miami, wherever you are, Atlanta. Real estate is going to increase, especially if it's a popular place. And Detroit has become one of the most want to see cities, especially once the JW get finished, the Cosmodome, and all this other stuff they're about to do. It's about to be up. So 1 year from now, you'll either wish you bought or wish you had started preparing to buy. The choice is yours. And right now, the choice is being made right now for you. So just understand what's going on. So that's it. This is my spiel. I've been talking for a while. So comment home if you want to see where you stand today. I will definitely assist you in that. I do have my book. Oh, let me grab it. See, I don't even have it. I have my book, Keys to Your Castle, that you can buy to help you get your life together. It has everything. And then you can scan a QR code. I have charts and graphs and things that I've made for you, that I've made for my coaching clients, that I put in here too. If you want to do it on your own, credit repair letters, if you want to repair your credit, all of the things, I have it here. This is like priceless. Okay. So understand, I start you from the beginning to the end. So you can comment Castle if you want a copy of my book. And if you want a personalized strategy, you can schedule a Pathway to Keys consultation, and I will definitely, we'll definitely go from there. If you want me to coach you personally, it doesn't matter how where you are. I know real estate agents all across this country. So just understand it's here. How much is my book? My book is $197 because I give you, like I said, it's from beginning to end, how to talk to lenders, the questions, all the way to I have charts or showing you how to put in your own numbers on what you can afford, budgeting sheets, all types of different things that is in here. It's a workbook style, so you can have it, keep it, and it also will help you after you buy, what to do after you buy. So I got that too. So that's it for me, y'all. Have an amazingly beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you next week for Real Estate Thursday. And like I said, if you have any questions, you can drop it in the comments. If you are new here, you know, drop new so I know. And I appreciate you for coming on and supporting me. Share this out to anybody that you know that will need this information. So have an amazing day, y'all, or amazing evening. I'm about to, try to get in here and give me some food right quick. So see y'all next week. Bye. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bye, YouTube Sphere.